So in this video, we're going to be making a government building, and I would like it to have columns. I'd like it to have an angled roof and some steps leading up to the building. And I'm going to decide on my dimensions. I can choose any of these, but for this, personally, I'm going to choose 40 millimeters by 40 millimeters with a maximum height of 35. So let's first of all adjust the grid. So I put it at 40 by 40, and that's a visual reminder of how the maximum size can be. And I've changed it to 2 millimeters snap to grid. That makes it a little bit easier when I'm moving shapes around. So this is going to be our base, and let's make this the maximum size. That's 40 by 40, and let's put this over here. And this is only a base, so let's make it 2 millimeters high. Now we've done that, I've changed where the work plane is. You can see that any other shapes now are going to be on top of this surface because I've moved the work plane. This would be underneath, this is on top. And this is going to be where I'm going to put my government building. So I don't want it to use the whole shape or the whole surface area. I don't want it to be 40 by 40. I'm going to make it 10 high. I'm going to have some steps leading up here, and I would like it to be 38, just inside the edge, and maybe let's bring it forward a little bit. Now I've done that, I'm going to do Control A, Control G to group them together, and I'm going to make some steps. So I've got some steps just here leading up, and I'm going to align them. So I've selected these ones. Oops, trying to select them. Control, there we go. Oops, didn't want to do that. I wanted to select them all and then align them to make sure my steps are in the center. Great. Now I've done that. 4 millimeters might be quite high, depends how high you want your steps. I'm going to make mine 2 millimeters and then do Control C, Control V and move that up 2 millimeters. So it's handy having it snap to grid 2 millimeters because everything moves by 2 millimeters. And using the arrow keys, put them in slightly, bring them back one, and then do Control C, Control V again. Use the black cone to translate it up 2 millimeters. Move that in slightly. If they're not aligned, don't worry, we can sort that out in a minute. And again, Control C, Control V one more time, and move that in. Once I'm happy with the depth of my steps, select all, click align, and there we go. We've got our steps leading up to our government building. So I'm going to do Control A, Control G. Now we've done that, we're going to now start building on here. So click on the work plane and click on my shape. I know it's 12 millimeters high, and so that's going to leave me with another 23 millimeters up here. So let's start off with some columns, and I don't want my columns to be too narrow. Let's make them 3 millimeters by 3 millimeters, and 20 is too high. So let's have them 14, looks right. In fact, I might even make them slightly wider. 4 by 4. And that's on the corner. We're going to do Control C, Control V, leaving a slight gap, Control C, Control V. I can just start doing Control V. Once I've done that, I can copy those columns. I only want those columns, Control C, Control V, and then using my arrow keys, Control C, Control V. The reason I did that is it's really handy having them all selected at the same time. To move them over slightly. And once I've done that, I'm going to Control C, Control V again, This time I'm going to rotate them. Remember, if you're inside, it's going to move by 22.5 degrees each time. If you're outside the calibrations, it moves by 1 degree. So it's a lot easier being inside. Let's move over here. And then obviously I'm going to have to delete some of these. So let's delete this and this one. And let's copy these two, Control C, Control V, and put them at the far end. Once I've done that, I'm going to put a box cuboid inside. And that's because I want something to support my roof. And if I do lots of columns, it's not going to be very secure. So I want that to be the same height. So everything's the same height here. And now I've done that, I'll do Control A, Control G, group all of this together. And the final touch is putting on the roof. So I can pull this out and do it by eye. If I have it hanging over the side, so if it's more than 40 millimeters, that's going to be too big. So make sure that this roof is still within your maximum dimensions.
Sorry, Jay, 5 to 11 PAR.